All right. So, yesterday, right, we had a certain discussion in relationship to text formatting, and then we also talked about in detail regarding the computer code, how code tag, PRE tag, var tag is utilized, and also is SAMP tag is also there. And then we looked into a time tag which also has got an attribute called date time. Okay, that is again we have learned something in relationship to that. Now today we'll concentrate more on the semantic tags. Okay, semantic tags are the one the name itself will suggest they stand for something. Like for example, if you say there is a header tag, it stands to define the header of a web page. Okay, it gives certain meaning or purpose to that structure. Okay, now with that being said, let's see what are these different kinds of tags. Let me open the text editor and let me try to increase the font size. Okay, now the font size is increased. Here I'll try to create a boilerplate, and in this boilerplate, hey, let's talk about something called as a header, a simple header tag. HEADER, header tag. Header tag is a semantic tag, okay, and it defines the header of a web page. Like for example, if you see, this is a header. Okay, what you see at the top, it contains a logo, it contains a menu, or sometimes we call this as a navigation bar. Okay, navigation bar, and this is a login page. If you hit login, and this is a shopping cart, and if you want to buy some courses or learn from them, so this all represents a header. Okay, every website has got a header, and at the same time they also have got the corresponding footer at the bottom. Okay, this entire thing in gray that is seen, this is all a footer. Okay, and now let's talk about footer in our discussion. Now, footer will contain what? It contain another semantic called as semantic tag, which is a nav tag. Nav is for navigation. Okay, navigation stands for, as the name itself suggests, navigation ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ರಿ? Navigation is something that you want to travel. Okay, traverse something. So I want to navigate through the certain place. In the same way, navigation in context to a web development, it is related to the menu. So this will give you a certain pages, what all pages the website has got, and you can just by click of that link, hyperlink, you will go or navigate to that page. You will travel to that page. That is what it means. So there is also a tag called navigation tag. Like for example, this navigation tag might contain let's say four span items. Okay, let's say four span items, and each span item, let's say it contains first is called home. Let's say is you are creating a menu where first is called a home, and then services, services. Okay, services. Then there is industry. I'm just creating a menu bar which is more relevant to a IT services company. Okay, so there will be a home and services menu. Will talk about not here, within the span tag. Yeah, so services, and then this is industry, because I need to keep it in the open and close tag, right? This is one tag, this is another tag, and here if you see industry, and then I can lastly say about contact. All right, and now what we have done is we have created what we call it as a navigation bar and a header bar. Just if you want to show you the output, this is how it looks now. Okay, this is how the output would look: a home, services, industry, and contact. Now, the very next thing we want to talk about is main. Okay, main, what main is like a major portion or major structure of a web page. Okay, so everything in the main will be the central topic of the web page. Like for example, what it means is, if I go a main, a main will contain the rest. If you see this website, this is a header and this is a banner. Okay, this is a banner. Banner can be, again, there is no tag as such as a banner, but we can create images or anything. And what follows the rest, right? This is all falls under the main section. And main section can have multiple sections. Like for example, main can have a section, it can have an article, it can have a division, it can have a paragraph, and all that falls within the main. Okay, there is a header, footer, and in between whatever the content is called a main section. Okay, so what it says represents the dominant content of the body of the document. The main content consists of, what is that? It consists of the central topic of the document. Okay, what is the means, what is the purpose of this web page? It will all be there in that main section. Okay, so now this is a main section. Now main section will contain again a lot of other sections, which is called a lot of other parts, which are represented by article tag. There is also a section tag. Okay, now what is the major difference here, whether in terms of an article? Article is more relevant to a type of websites. Like if you have a magazine or a newspaper, you find an article that is more relevant or usage over there. But section as such, it's a more generic kind of, okay, it's a more a generic kind of HTML tag, which can be used for that matter for any kind of websites, even for the newspapers or the magazine websites, or for that IT services website that we are trying to create in our example. All that will have a generic section where you have a standalone section of the document. Okay, now let's say there is a section that I want to create, section 1, and then it can have a multiple section. Okay, multiple section, there is a multiple section, and at the bottom I want to create something called as an article that will describe about us. Okay, something like that. So what we have done here, we have created a header. Now we have created a navigation bar, then we have created a main section. Main section consists of there is a section, and then there is another section, and then there is an article. That is all created within the main. All right, then at the bottom right, there is another section or a tag that we can go ahead and create, and that is called as footer. Footer is always at the bottom. Footer is what? Footer represents the bottom of the page. Okay, bottom of any web page, and that is the footer section. So what is the footer section mainly concentrates upon? If you see the footer section, right, mostly it will give you certain links to the web page. Okay, and also a short description about that web page, and also some social handles. You have got a Instagram, YouTube, and all that, LinkedIn, Zami or a Workzam. This kind of a social networking kind of a linkage is given to them. These are called social handles. And also copyright. Okay, copyright is also given. Okay, this all forms the part of the footer. All right, so what I can do, I can say mm, all rights reserved. Maybe I'll put that in a paragraph, para tag, all rights reserved. Okay, something, this becomes a footer. Or I can go ahead and add any hyperlinks if I want. I can go ahead and create a short description about a web page, but for the time being I have just added some copyright saying all rights reserved, and I want to add this. That's all. Now, let's go back to our main section, because this is where the action happens. Now, the section can contain what? It can contain multiple divisions. Okay. Divisions is, again, if you see what is a division, division is nothing but represented by a tag called div tag. And this is also very generic container. Okay. And there is not much of a difference between a section and a division. If you see at the At the functionality wise, they all also they both represents almost similar, but the key difference is the division can go within the section. Okay, that is the ideal usage. A section is a more broader perspective, and inside that you can have multiple divisions, like some logical workflow I'll show you here. Now suppose this is a section which basically talks about certain things. Let's say I have created a paragraph, and this talks about insurance services, okay, that a company provides, related to the insurance companies, something like that. And now that we are in this section, I want to give you one important hint here. It's a aid or a help. Okay, now I'm slightly digressing from the topic to give you a certain useful tool here. Now, suppose when you are creating a website, right? Then there is a lot of content that you need to put inside a website. Okay, a lot of content, in the sense these kind of contents you need to put inside your website in order to make it more functional. But during the development phase, right, you might not be ready with all the contents available to you at your fingertips. At that time, what you need to do, you need to put certain junk or placeholders content inside the tags. So those placeholder contents is called lorem ipsum. Okay. So if you go ahead and Google this, what lorem ipsum is, you will come to know that if you go to the Wikipedia, it will show in the publishing world, right? Lorem ipsum is more of a placeholder text. When you don't know what need to be put inside, then here what you will put here, some kind of a verbiage that is looks like a English verbiage, but it is not English at all. Some random junk placeholder text. Okay, like quo for q tandem abutre, something like that. Okay, which doesn't make any sense, but it'll it'll create some kind of a placeholder for you. This is called as lorem ipsum, and it is very predominantly used in the programming world, where you have a tag created, but you needed certain placeholder text for it. In Visual Studio Code, there is something that we can make use of through your emmet abbreviation, that is called as, like for example, if I want to create a paragraph, I need to put a greater than symbol, which means inside the paragraph, I am adding lorem text. So I need to type LOREM, lorem text, and how many words of text I want to add. Suppose I want to add 100 words. Okay, just type this and press the enter key. Okay, the paragraph here I am putting a paragraph tag. Inside the paragraph tag, that is greater than symbol, then you are typing a word lorem, inside that 100, which means 100 placeholder text or the 100 placeholder words will be added to your paragraph. I don't have to type 100 words here. It will automatically create for me if I just press enter now. So if you can see, this command has created what? It has created a paragraph tag. Inside that, there is a junk placeholder text, which doesn't make any sense, but it will provide you the look and feel. If I go ahead and see the output, right, there is some text. It is giving me a kind of a paragraph presence in order to make a web development. Okay. So guys, did you understand the usage here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So in this way, what I have done, I have just now created a insurance services. Inside that, what I'll do, I will add another paragraph with a lorem text of 50 words inside it. Okay, just like that. And then what I'll do, I will create what is known as a division text, a division tag or div tag. Inside this div tag, I will create another paragraph which is having 100 words as a lorem text. Okay, some placeholder. Now I have created one division, and the section can have multiple divisions. So what I'll do, I'll go ahead and create another division tag which contains a paragraph, and this paragraph will in turn contains a suppose 90 words. Okay, So now if I go ahead and see this section, what it is showing me, it would have created me this. What is this? A menu. There is insurance services. This is what it contains, insurance services. And then inside this insurance services, right, rather than this giving as a paragraph, I can make this as a header. I can make use of a h2 tag rather than using a paragraph. So I'll make it as a h2 tag so that it looks a little bit bold. And then inside this, I'll create a paragraph division, right? Inside this, I'll add a h3 tag, which says in insurance services, let's say it is a personal insurance, okay? Personal insurance. Inside that, I have added something called as personal insurance, and another division which I have created, I'll add it as a commercial insurance. So what does this output look like now? It is section tag. Section tag contains a header to tag, and header to tag has got a below, there is a paragraph created, and then there is a division tag, and division tag opens here, closes here. Inside this division tag, there is a h3 header and certain paragraph, and another division tag which has got h3 header and certain paragraph. If I see the output currently, this is how the website is structured now. There is a menu, there is head one h2 tag, there is h3 tag, and then at the bottom there is a footer. Now we'll go ahead and elaborate that with other details. Like suppose I want to add another h2 tag, which will say now that we have insurance services, let's say we'll add a banking services. Banking services. Now, inside the banking services, I'll add another paragraph which describes something about banking in let's say 100 words. Okay, a paragraph with lorem text containing 100 words. This is what the meaning is. So I have added that. With that, banking services can have multiple sections. So I'll create one division here and another division. Let's say I have created two divisions. So this division will contain a H3 tag now, which says inside the banking, maybe I'll say corporate banking. Corporate banking. So this corporate banking, I want to describe about corporate banking services, what we do as an IT services company inside this paragraph, Lorem, with 100 words. Okay. And then H3, and here I will create another tag which is corporate service. Let's say cards and payments. Okay, cards and like credit cards and all that you have, right? It falls under the category called cards and payments. And here I will add another paragraph which contains a lorem text of around let's say 50 words. And then I will add another paragraph which elaborates more about the cards and payments with another 100 words. Okay, a paragraph. So this is how the output looks like now. There is a heading, there is a insurance services which contains two, personal insurance and commercial insurance. Some text, placeholder text is added. Then there is a banking services, then you have a description about banking, then it contains corporate banking and cards and payments, and some paragraph defining what this contains. Okay, this is how you have created and utilized so many tags here. Okay, you have utilized the header tag, navigation tag, main tag, section tag, division tag, heading tag, P, which is a paragraph tag, and yeah, footer tag. All this has been utilized, and now we will create something about article tag. Let's say I want to add a h2 tag which says about us. Okay, let's say I want to talk about us in the article tag, and inside the article tag I'll create let's say I want to add three paragraphs. Okay, three let's say, let me add one paragraph first. Okay, with 50 100 words, and then I'll go ahead and create another paragraph with another 50 words. Okay, that's enough. So now this is how my about us will look like at the bottom. This is the article that I have added about us. Okay, so these are all what we have demonstrated here is the usage of semantic tags. Okay, So we have used all this, and then there is a details and the summary tag. We can go ahead and add that. That is also can be added. I mean details, and it looks something like this. If you see, mm, yeah, you have a details tag. You want to add a summary to it. Okay, this is what you can do using a details and summary tag, which you can also see it here. Yeah, a personal insurance which is kept into this is about details, and what you contains inside is a summary tag. This is a summary tag. This is a summary tag, and this details will contain a paragraph which is demonstrated here. Okay, so we can do that as well inside this. Maybe let's say cards and payments, not cards and payments. Yeah, I can add that here. There is a details tag. Inside that there is a summary tag, and summary tag will contain what, let's say I want to add credit cards. Credit cards. Let's say I want to add about credit cards, and add a paragraph, let's say with a character of how many. I want to add lorem text of 20 words. That's enough. So this is how my output would look. I have added a credit card with the details, and if I expand that, the summary will come up. Okay, I'll just try to zoom it and show you. Just a second. Yeah, this should be enough. So this I have added a credit cards inside the cards and payments, and if I expand that, this will show the summary. Okay, this will show the details. This is about summary tag, what I have added credit cards, which you can see it here, credit cards inside the summary tag. And then there is a paragraph which defines more about the credit cards. Okay, details. Okay, so guys, do you have any questions so far?
No, sir.
Okay, so what you have learned just now is the very structure of a website. Okay, this is a structure of the website. It contains a lot of things. I'll zoom out and show you in a bit. This is a menu, and this is sections you have created. You have created a paragraphs, you have created a heading. Inside the sections you have got divisions, and these two part of the divisions, and then there is an article written, there is a details and summary being defined, and then at the bottom you can also see the footer. All this forms the structure of a website, and they are created using what? Semantic tags. Okay, so this is a very important, and because you can see lot of websites use these tags. Okay, very often the structure of the website is defined by these tags. All right, and with that being said, let's and there is also an example given here. You can go ahead and refer to the same example, and here they have created a hyperlink. We can go ahead and create the hyperlink inside that as well. Like for example, span tag is there. Let's say I want to create a hyperlink inside. For how do you create a hyperlink, guys? What tag is needed to create a hyperlink?
Anchor tag. Anchor tag.
Anchor tag, fantastic. So let's go ahead and use the anchor tag, and then let's say let me divert that to http yes colon front slash front slash skillsam.com. Okay, now what I'm trying to do, uh, inside the span tag I have created a anchor tag, and this anchor tag will contain home as the content, and the moment home is clicked, it will take me to a web page called skillsam.com, and I want to open that into a new window. What is the attribute I need to use if I want to open the file in a new window?
Target equal to blank.
Yeah, target is equal to underscore blank. Fantastic, that's good. Target equal to underscore blank. So what will happen, I have added this, and if you see there is a hyperlink. The moment I hover the mouse over it, it will show me a pointer cursor. So if I click on this, it will open a new window, and it will go to skillsam.com because of this anchor tag added within the span tag. Okay, so what you have created now is a menu. It is a menu or a navigation bar also. You can call it as a navigation bar or a menu. a simple. Later we'll also try to learn when you do the css, right? If I hover over it, a drop down menu appears, and all that can be created using css. We'll do that later when we talk about css, but for now it's a very simple menu: header, a home, services, industry, and contact. And if I click on the home, it will go to skillsand.com. That's it. Now, with that being said, let's jump on to another interesting concept in HTML, which is called as tables. Because I mean, if you take any website, it definitely is bound to contain a tag related to tables. Okay, so tables is what? Tables is made up of rows and columns, like the name itself suggests. It's a if most of you guys, if you have used the database, right, it has got rows and columns, right? In the same way, a table is a rows and columns. For that, a good analogy will be MS Excel. Okay, so this is what? Rows and columns. All right, now suppose this is like name. Let's say I'm open this in a excel sheet. Name, then there is USN, university number, and then I can say what department. Okay, what department the student is studying in. And suppose if this is what, or a favorite subject. Okay, favorite subject. Suppose I have four fields that I need to capture. Okay, this is called what, guys? In a table, this is called a header. Okay, and now again it might have a numbering to it. Okay, it might have a numbering just to define how many students are there. Suppose I want to add some name, let's say ABC. USN number is 123, department is ENG, then favorite subject is XYZ. Okay, something. Then our favorite subject is some name, I can say CSC. So you can add X, Y, Z. So this is all what arranged in terms of, these are individually are called columns, and these individuals are called rows. So always a table will contain what? Table will contain rows and columns. In the same way, if you want to put this in a structure in a on a web page, you can do that using a table tag. So these in HTML, this is called a table header, and this is called table row, which is represented by a tag called tr. Okay, and these are all table row, and each individual is a table data. Okay, represented by td tag. So this is a table row, and this is a table header represented by td. Table row is represented by a tag called tr, and each table row contains what we call it as a table data, which is called as td. Okay, now let's understand how to use those tags. Okay, so let's see here. Tables can be created using a tag called table element. Okay, table element is the major tag that we use. Inside this tag we have called as a table row, which is represented by a tr tag, and then there is a table data, which is represented by a td tag, and then there is something called as th, which is representing a table header. These are the four major tags. Again, we have got a column tag, we have got a column span tag. We'll come to that in a bit. And also there is a certain description that you want to add to a table, what it is. Again, there is a certain tag. Again, we can use that, but for the time being, let's start with these four tags. Okay, in our example, let me open the yeah, I'll just try to clear this. Okay, I'll try to remove this. Just add a boilerplate, and then here it will all start with something called as a table tag. So first is table tag open, and table tag close, represented by a front slash, right? All right. Inside this table tag, the very first is a table header. you call it as TD. TD, I mean TH. TH start, TH end. So there is a open, there is a close. Inside that you can add a table data. Okay. Maybe what it contains, let's say, I want to add four table headers. Okay. Which will be representing my same worksheet. Okay. Let's say first is name. Okay. First is name, and then I want to add USN, and then I want to add what? Department, and then I want to add last one is favorite subject. Okay, or let's say subject. That's enough. Now this is your table header. Let's see how it looks on your output now so far. So this is how it looks, guys. Okay, very simple. Uh, what it contains: name, USN, department, and subject. Now, just observe that it doesn't contain anything of that sort called columns or rows highlighting those. Okay, that is all related to CSS styling. But now, just concentrate that you have a table header being created because of usage of these tags. Now, once the table header is created, we want to add the rows, right? So that can be added by a tag called TR tag. TR stands for table rows. Okay. Now, rows contains what? Each individual rows, like I showed you in Excel sheet. This is one row. This is second row, third row, fourth row. So the very first row contains data here. Okay. One, two, three, four. Four values are there. So let me go ahead and add those values. Table data, which is represented by TD. I want to add 4. Let's say the first name is Ravi. Okay. Ravi is there. USN number is 123, and his department is CSC, and he is studying. Favorite subject is let's say JavaScript. Then I want to add another row. So I need to create another TR tag. Inside that, I need to create again 4 entries that will be there. And then let's say I want to create entry for Neha. Neha has having 1 2 3 4 5 6 is her, and department is ISC, and then favorite subject is Python. Let's say, and then there is another row that I want to create, and it will contain again 4 entries, and this will be again we will be adding the entry here. Let's say I want to add Vittal. Okay. So Vittal, his number is 987, and his department is, let's say, CSC, and now his favorite subject is also let's say HTML. All right. So now what we have created a table header. Okay. Where is that? Yeah, table header. What, it's gone or what? Yeah, sorry. Table header should not end here. Table header should end here. Okay, this table header, and then this is all right. So let me go ahead and let me take it back. Yeah. So what we have done, we have created a table tag. Inside that there is a table header tag which is th, and um, it contains 4 values, which is name, USN, department, and subject. And then there is a table row, and row starts here, row ends here. This is the first row for Ravi we have created, and there is a second row we have created for Neha, and there is a third row that we have created for Vittal. And let's go ahead and see the output, how it looks now. Yeah, this is how it looks, guys. Interesting, right? Now there is nothing, there is no proper arrangement, there is no proper box in information that we are able to keep it. This is all happening because there is no styling is associated with it. Okay, there is nothing called as styling that we have added to it. That is the reason you can see these entries here. Now, if you add border and everything, it will be properly arranged in a border format that we will see when we do a border decoration or styling for a table in CSS. Okay, that is one. But now for a structure, this is how the table contains a table header, then it contains each individual rows, and then each rows contains a data, table data. All right. So any questions, guys, in this table row header and everything?
No, sir.
Okay, good. And now, if you see, there is also a tag called as caption. Okay, so what is this caption talks about? Caption is nothing but a title. Okay, you want to give a title to that. Maybe here I can add something called as caption tag, say stating, uh, let's say student details. This is the table header. So if I go there, it will say student details is the caption of the table or the title of the table, then row, the header, then there is a table rows. All right, this is represented by caption. Okay? And then there is a column and column group. So what this will do is, the column tag, what it does, it will define how the column within the table, and also a common semantics associated with the column. Like for example, if you see here column, each col, and it has got a span to it. Again, where span is an attribute, which means how big the column would be, and this would be better understood when you style the column. Okay, when you style the column and you create a border around it, then this particular section is better understood. So what we'll do is, when we take up the CSS, we will talk about this column group and column style. But for this example, here, if you want to go ahead and see this example, this is how the output looks like. Okay, why? Because the column span, what we are talking about, this one, column span 2, what does it mean? For the first two columns, how the styling should be. Okay, for the first two columns, this is one and two column, there is nothing, no styling is done. But for the third column, we are changing the background color to light blue. 1 2 is already nothing is done, but for the third column we are making it as light blue because of this styling. This is what we are calling this as light blue. And for the fourth column, the width of the column is increased to decreased to 60 pixel. So this column has decreased. If you see the width of it, this compared to this is reduced because we have made it as a 60 pixel. And then 2 3 4 is done. Fifth column, it the background is changed to light blue, which is 1 2 3 4, fifth column, which is this one, we have changed it to light blue. And then there is a sixth column, the background color is light coral, and the border we have made it as 4 pixel indigo. So that is the reason, if you see, this border is 4 pixel indigo, but it has a color coral as a background rather than light blue. All right, so this is 2 3 4 5 6, and last two 7 8, the pixels are reduced to, width is reduced to 60 pixel. That is the reason the last two, the width is reduced. Okay, so now how we border this, because there is also a tag we need to use, something called as border tag. We'll come to that, what this border tag is, when we talk about CSS. All right, that is the reason you can see these borders here, a light gray border, right? This is created using a CSS. All right. All right. With that being said, let's go ahead and understand another interesting thing about HTML, and that is related to images. Okay. So images. Now we will enter a field of what we call it as multimedia. Okay, multimedia contains what? Images, audios, videos, and all that falls as a part of a multimedia. So now there is a tag in HTML called IMG. As the name itself suggests, it is for an image, embedding an image into a website. Like for example, if this is a website and there is a image here. This is a banner image. This can only be embedded using what? Using a IMG tag. And the same about this. All these images can be added to your website using what we call it as image tag. Let's go ahead and talk about that image file a bit. Now, image file is a self-closing tag. What it means is it does not have a closing tag. Like the link tag does not have a closing tag. Like a BR, what other tags we have seen, guys, which does not have a closing tag so far? Can anyone tell me?
BR tag and HR tag.
Yeah, super. That's right. So we have seen BR tag, we have seen HR tag and image tag, and also link tag. Link tag also does not have a closing tag. In the same way, image tag does not have a corresponding closing tag. Hence, this is called as a self-closing tag, or also known as empty elements. Very, very standard interview questions. What are, can you tell some of the empty tags used in HTML? So you should be able to talk about image tag there. Okay. So they are, does not contain any closing tags. So image tag has got an attribute called source. SRC stands for source, which is the path or the URL of the image. This is a mandatory. Why? Because let me show you that. Let's say I want to clear this, add a boilerplate exclamation tab, and then let's say I will add a h1 tag, demo image in HTML. Let's see. And then there is a tag I want to add, that is IMG. The moment I hit enter, it will create these two attributes which are mandatory for the image tag. What is this? SRC is a source. It stands for source. Source means it's a path from where I need to pick the image from, whether it is from an external source where there I can get those images from, or within the website itself I have stored some image I want to pick that image from. So I need to provide the source of the image, which is path of the image. And next, ALT stands for alternate. What happens is, sometimes for some reasons you don't have your website able to load that image. What, at that time, this alternate text will be shown on your web page. Okay. Very standard usage is some people who are differently able, who cannot see, and they want to access the website. At that time, what they do is, usually they will read the website for them. Okay. So there are tools that can read the website, or there are inbuilt website tools there where you can read the website to them. At that time, whenever they see the image, the reader will read from the alternate text. Okay. So always whenever you give the alternate text, right, make sure it is more descriptive of that image. Okay. Let's say in this, let me go ahead and source some image for of Leo Messi. Okay. So now this guy is like a greatest player of all time in football. So if you guys are crazy about football, then you all might be knowing him. So let's say, what is this image source? Is there image source there? Yeah, I can't get the image source. Mm, what I can do is, yeah, let's say I will use this image source. Okay. What is this? It is getting from media.getty images, and it is in a format of what? Dot jpg file. Okay, it's a dot jpg file, and I'll say this is uh, Leo Messi image, okay, in Barcelona jersey at Camp Nou. So let's say what I'm trying to say is, Leo Messi is there. He's wearing a Barcelona jersey and he's playing football at Camp Nou. This is a stadium name in Barcelona. Okay, that is what, which means if the image is not able to load, then this alternate text will be shown onto the web page. Let's say, let me try to run this now. Now if you see, this image is not getting loaded at this point in time. What is happening? If you see, the alternate text is shown up here. Okay, so what it is saying, showing me Leo Messi image in Barcelona jersey at Camp Nou. So this is one interesting usage of alternate text. Now let's say, um, so let's say I want to use some Flickr images here. I mean, they most of them are available to you. You can go ahead and use them depending on the rights. Okay, all rights are reserved, so you cannot use them. Make sure you use the right images where you can go ahead and utilize them. Okay, this is one good website to go ahead. There are a lot of websites that you can go ahead. Let's say. Um, let's say you can say, you can just search copyright free images. Okay, if you write copyright free images, right, then we have a lot of websites will show up. Usually Unsplash is very interesting, and I usually prefer Unsplash. And even Pixabay is also very interesting. So what they have, 2.7 million stunning free images, you can use it. Okay, these are free of cost. Okay, and you can go ahead and utilize in your website, and that's absolutely fine. Okay, and here free to use under Pixabay license, no attributes needed. So that is, you can use them in your website wherever there is need be, and that is good enough for you to utilize them. So that is again a lot of things that you can do. Let's say, I don't know whether this will allow you to load it or not. It's not getting loaded. That is fine. So what I can do is I can just source it internally from my stored images. Let's say alt text Ronaldo. Now, so what is happening? I can see the image being loaded and demo of the image, and this is the image, and that I am taking the source from my internal website. Okay, that I can do. And here even these images are there, you can go ahead and utilize them. Make sure what you need to log in. Some will allow for a login, some don't allow the links to be shared. Usually Splash will allow without logging, so you can go ahead and utilize them. Free download, you can download them original size, whatever it is, and that will help you to utilize those images. Okay, you can free of cost, you can download and just utilize them in your websites, because Unsplash is a very common, and also it is free of cost. All right, so all right, so just I want to demonstrate one thing here. There is an image tag which contains two attributes. One is source attribute, one other is a alt attribute. And source attribute will provide the URL or the destination of the image, or the storage where it is stored in the image, either in external files you can reference, or you can take in your own local, you can refer them. And then alternate text is a text that will provide a textual description of what that image is. Okay, so any question guys in terms of image?
No, sir.
Okay, so now there are certain other attributes associated with image. What it contains, these are not mandatory though. They are called like width, height, and also the title. So what it means, suppose this image that I have added, suppose I want to add a width to it. Now if you see this image, reset, and if you see this image, it has got certain width. So now I don't want it to be of that much. I just want it to be fitting only in the 1/4 of my viewport window. This is called viewport, guys. We'll come to that when we talk about CSS. from your left to right, this distance on your screen is called a viewport. Okay, whatever you see here. So the viewport has got width and the height. So now if I want my viewport of the window, only 25% need to be stored, will be given to the image. I can go ahead and say width is equal to 25 percentage. If I give this width equal to 25%, if you see, I can put 4 images of Ronaldo within this, because it will only occupy the 25% of my viewport width. Okay. So, and for height, I can go ahead and say auto. Auto is by default, which means depending on whatever the width, the height will be adjusted automatically. That is what it means. Okay, by default, if you don't give also, the auto has got its value, height has got its default value as auto. So is the case with width. All right. And then there is also a attribute called as title. Title is whenever you hover the mouse over it, you will be able to see a title there. Ronaldo image. Now, if I go ahead and if I hover over the mouse, let's see here. I'll try to reset. If I hover the mouse over the image, it is showing me Ronaldo image. This is because of the title property. Okay, are you able to see, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is because of the title property of the image. All right. So image tag has got source, there is a destination, I mean there is a source, and there is a alternate text, there is a width, height, and the title. All these are important attributes of a image tag. Okay, makes sense. And with that, I'll make a stop here. If you guys have any questions, kindly ask me. All right, guys.
Yes,
See
sir.
you Friday at 8 p.m. and we'll try to wrap it up HTML, and we'll concentrate on some projects we can do together on HTML. Okay.